bring the Avon Town Council meeting for March 28th to order and start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Robert Pope,
Present.
Bill Holland,
Present.
Jason Puckett,
Present.
Don Loudon,
Present.
Greg Zuzen.
Present. We're going to need to suspend the rules to add something to the agenda. We've given everybody a copy of what we're going to add, but I need a motion to suspend the rules.
I'll make a motion that we suspend the rules to add an item to the agenda.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Don Loudon,
4.
Greg Zuzen,
4.
Robert Pope,
4.
Bill Holland,
4.
Jason Puckett,
4.
Then what we'll do is we'll add Taylor's lawn maintenance bid to the agenda. We'll put it after, it'd be the second item underneath new business. With that then, do we need a motion to approve that item then as added to it?
Your motion should be one that adds it to the agenda and says that you're also going to vote on it. So you're not just adding it. I assume you're going to vote on it tonight, take action. And then that will need to pass unanimously.
All right.
Then I will make a motion that we suspend the rules to add the Taylor's Lawn maintenance item to the agenda that we plan to vote on tonight.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
4.
Bill Holland,
4.
Jason Puckett,
4.
Don Loudon,
4.
Greg Zuzen.
4. Next on the agenda then is the consent agenda. Does anybody have any questions regarding the check register or the minutes? If not, we need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion that we accept the consent agenda showing the check register for March 28th, the joint work session on March 14th, and the approval of the minutes for the March 7th meeting.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Greg Zuzen,
4.
Jason Puckett,
4.
Don Loudon,
4.
Bill Holland,
4.
Robert Pope.
4.
Next item on the agenda is the first of 2 public comment opportunities. If you'd like to come forward and address the council, please do so. State your name and address and limit your comments to 3 minutes. With nobody coming forward, we'll close that portion of the agenda and move to council comment and liaison reports. Jason.
I have nothing new today.
Mr. Pope.
I actually have nothing, no comment as well.
Mr. Holland. No comments. Ms. Loudon.
Nothing to say.
Well, I'm going to break the streak. I just kind of want to really give you an update of what was on the Plan Commission agenda. The Mission Foods expansion was continued. That's the second time it was continued. The Pulte Canic Derringer rezone was approved with a favorable recommendation to town council. Brewster's Ice Cream was approved. Easton Gray PUD amendment for the Carter, adding the Carter property was approved. Family Promise on Avon Avenue was approved with a favorable recommendation to the town council. The 8447 East US Highway 36, those 3 parcels that they wanted to get rezoned was also continued. And the Wawa and Dan Jones and 100 North was continued. Next then is new business. Approval of quote for township line and Avon Avenue signal improvement. Mr. Moore.
Sure. Steve Moore, Public Works Director. We have a project that's going to be starting here shortly on Dan Jones Road and 150 South. And we're going to be detouring traffic to Avon Avenue. And of course, people who want to go to the south and the east will be using the intersection of 300 and Avon Ave. Since we're adversely affecting that intersection, and it's Plainfield's intersection, I've worked with Scott Singleton from the town of Plainfield and offered to do some detection for the signal to make it operate as efficiently as possible. To do that, there's some equipment called Mile Vision. It's a pretty good investment as far as dollar amount goes, but the $45,598 that we would invest now, we'd be able to reuse at County Road 200 North and Ronald Reagan, where we have problems with detection that's starting to fail. And it would cost just a few $1,000s more than this to replace the type that we have there. So this would replace that whole system. So we'd be paying for it now and using it later. So we get the double benefit of using this in two different places. In addition to that, this same equipment will be monitored by NDOT as a possibility for video detection for signals throughout the state, including maybe in Avon on 36. So this is a pretty good project for us to take on. It hopefully will help traffic move through that intersection as the best it can. It's constrained. It's going to be a roundabout. As soon as our roundabout's built at 150 and Dan Jones, they're going to construct their roundabout there. They're already into utility relocation as well. So they're working on it, but it's constrained with land. They don't have enough lanes. It's going to be a nightmare if we don't do something. So this is what we can do to try to help the traffic there. So I ask that you approve the $45,598 to purchase and install this equipment.
Any questions for Mr. Moore?
So this goes on poles, existing poles? Or where
Yes,
does this-
so it's a fisheye camera, and that will then detect traffic coming up to each stop bar. Then there's 4 additional cameras for back detection, so that when you know when traffic's coming, so that you that the signal will extend time if it needs to extend time for more traffic.
And so this is going to be put on poles in
The
Plainfield?
existing traffic signal poles that they have. They're not taking those down yet until they're, for the roundabout construction. They're taking down all their other utility poles and they're relocating those. So we couldn't attach to those. So everything we're going to do is going to be at the intersection on the existing traffic signal poles that are going to remain for the project.
Any other questions for Mr. Moore? Would somebody like to make a motion?
Until we get it.
I'll make a motion that we approve the quote for the township line and Avon Avenue signal improvement as presented.
We have a motion by Jason. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Bill Holland,
4.
Robert Pope,
4.
Don Loudon,
4.
Greg Zuzen,
4.
Jason Puckett.
4.
Next item on the agenda is the Taylor's Lawn maintenance bid. Mr. Moore?
So we thought we had a good quote from another vendor, and they sent an email asking to be released from their quote that they had concerns over capacity. So we went to our second lowest quote, and we confirmed with them that they do want to do the work. They are also below our budget amount for the year, so we're still going to be good money-wise. And we got some really good references for this this vendor, so I recommend that we accept the quote for Taylor's Lawn Maintenance of $103,985.
Any questions for Mr. Moore?
I think the only thing I asked of the last contractor was that you get with them and let them know that we don't want trimmings and grass thrown into the streets when they're out there mowing.
Sure.
Would somebody like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the Taylor's Lawn Maintenance quote in the amount of $103,985 for the 2024 roadside mowing and debris pickup.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Don Loudon,
4.
Bill Holland,
4.
Greg Zuzen,
4.
Jason Puckett,
4.
Robert Pope.
4.
Next item is the final reading of ordinance 2024-06, annexation, Pasari property. Is that you, Mr. Moore, or Mr. Taylor?
This is the final step in the Pasari annexation. You've introduced the ordinance and had conducted your public hearing, so this is the final step in that process.
Any questions? This goes with the Easton Gray PUD. So, no questions. I need a motion, please.
I'll make a motion that we adopt ordinance 2024-06, the annexation, the Pasari annexation as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second. Roll call, please.
Jason Puckett,
4.
Greg Zuzen,
4.
Robert Pope,
4.
Bill Holland,
4.
Don Loudon.
4.
Next item on the agenda is the introduction of ordinance 2024-07, adoption of stormwater management ordinance.
Yeah, so this is our stormwater management ordinance. We used to be we piggybacked on the county's ordinance, so we're developing our own. Charlie Maddox with Crossroad Engineers is going to be here, and he's going to kind of just tell you the differences between what we want you to adopt versus what was there previously. Charlie?
Did I get it? There we go. Good evening, everybody. My name's Charlie Maddox with Crossroad Engineers. Crossroad does the drainage reviews for all the developments that come through for platting and subdivision, as well as the various commercial properties that come through. And the town of Avon contracted with us to aid in rewriting the stormwater manual. So there's 2 different documents, the SMO and the STSM, stormwater management ordinance and stormwater technical standards. There was really 3 main objectives that we were trying to accomplish here with the update. One was, like Mr. Moore said, remove ties with the county's drainage ordinance, as well as major updates to the way IDIM reviews and approves. Sorry, this is probably too close. Reviews and approves the they call it SWIP, Stormwater Pollution Prevention Plans. You may have heard of the Rule 5 previously for environmental approvals. They've now updated that to the general construction, construction stormwater general permit. And then the last thing would be just an attempt to help alleviate some of the back and forth we have with some of the developers and engineers as far as approving waivers for common items that maybe the original intent of the ordinance was one thing, but generally speaking, we were having to write a couple of waivers from time to time and kept getting repeat offenses. So I can go into as much detail or as little detail as you want. I'm not sure if you all have had a chance to review that document, but generally speaking, it was mostly minor changes, definitions, new definitions, removing some and adding new and bringing some up to speed. The last time this was done was in 2006, so a lot of things have changed since then. There's a couple other things that changed that help with coordination with the county approvals as well. Drainage that goes to the county will be reviewed and approved by them, and likewise, any county property that drains directly to the town of Avon, the town has an opportunity to review and approve those, even though it's in the county's jurisdiction for stormwater approvals. But also updates the governing authority to be the Stormwater Utility Board and Department of Public Works for final say for drainage approvals. And then several updates to construction standards, as-built standard requirements, and then some of the more technical stuff is in the Stormwater Technical Standards Manual. And I can get into the weeds on that if you want, but I guess I'll just open it up to you. If you have any questions for me, I'd be happy to help clear anything up.
Any questions?
The only question I have, Steve, or for you, I don't know, is what is the reasoning behind allowing the roof drain connections on commercial and multifamily properties now to be connected to sewers at, when in the past we haven't done that and we're still not doing it for single family homes?
Yeah, so I think the original intent of the ordinance was to make sure the single-family homes are not tying into the stormwater system. You might see sump pumps or residents connecting roof drains without really the town or Department of Public Works knowing. Or it's also a question of whether or not they're going to do that correctly or and whatnot. But oftentimes with commercial properties, especially, it's an ADA concern where the gutters are, outletting directly onto the sidewalk, and most of the time it's safer and more efficient to just bury those and connect it into the stormwater system that they're already installing on their site to help, keep pedestrian traffic safer usually. But also, some of those buildings can be quite large, and the direct discharge from specific areas can aid in erosion, and it helps with the plantings about the perimeter. So most of the time, we're pretty comfortable allowing them to do that, especially since there's already, water quality requirements and detention requirements that these commercial developments are already meeting with their detention ponds and their water quality units, et
So
cetera.
volume-wise,
Volume-wise, absolutely no change.
thank you.
Any other questions?
I have a question, but I think it's going to be geared towards you, Steve. Does this help alleviate some of the confusion, particularly in the Fairwood neighborhood, on the interpretation of our stormwater ordinances versus the county's ordinance?
Yes, yeah, basically, we clarified some of the things where there were gray areas, so that it's black and white. We also, we had meetings with contractors and engineers and give them a chance to look at it and give us suggestions. And, we reviewed those, and we think we have a pretty comprehensive document that I think everybody can agree with. That it's I think it's one of the better ones in the state.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Yep.
For the minutes, let's show ordinance, the introduction of ordinance 2024-07, adoption of stormwater management ordinance has been introduced. Next item on the agenda is the introduction of ordinance 2024-08, amending the 2024 salary ordinance. Mr. Moore?
Yes, we brought on a asset or public works technician in January, and he's just been knocking it out of the park. And so we want to make sure we can keep him here. I'm not asking for an additional position. I'm asking to change a position to give him an elevated position. He's taken on a lot of the sign work that we used to hire out. He also does a lot of the ordering. He's taken on more things. He's actually taking his NDOT inspection certification classes right now. So he's become a true asset to us. He's really valuable, and we want to reward him for his efforts, and we want to keep him. So we're asking to change his position to the senior technician.
Any questions for Mr. Moore? Let us show then that ordinance 2024-08, amending the 2024 salary ordinance, has been introduced. Next item is legal counsel report. Mr. Taylor. This will be the second of two public comment opportunities. If you would like to come up and address the council, please do so. State your name and address and limit your conversation to 3 minutes. With nobody coming forward, then we'll go to council comment. Ms. Loker, do you have anything to say? How about council calendar?
I'm going to do your council calendar, though.
Okay.
Your next meeting is April the 11th at 7 p.m. We will be having a work session ahead of time at 5:30. That is all.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.